Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Orange Zeppelin and uh I I'm tired. We're just gonna start off with that. I am very tired. You may notice it's not quite June yet. I'm making the video a little bit early because this is where it best fits in this week's schedule. Though my schedule kind of is just to do nothing for a little bit because May. Let's talk about May. It's not that it went bad, it's just that I'm exhausted from doing everything. So as you already knew, there were multiple paintings happening at a commission painting that I was working on that wasn't going fantastically well at the time, which that I finished up and the client was very happy with what I made. So I'm very happy about that. That ended up being pretty easy in the end. And then you can see right now the Hermaeus Mora painting. If you haven't checked it out already, I do have a whole video in which I do this painting, and this lighting is absolute ass for looking at this. This looks very gray and the lighting is weird. I don't know why my lighting is not so fantastic, but actually looks a little bit better when you're seeing it from the distance because the lighting is a little better in that spot. But in the video you can see it much better, and I am super happy with how that turned out. That is currently sitting up for auction, which I think, if I remember correctly, the auction might end tomorrow, so you can still get in on that as long as you're really quick, which all of the proceeds for that painting are going to the Alzheimer's Association because I did it in kind of loose association with Wes Johnson's Voiceapalooza. So that was the big goal for this month, is to get that done, because I already had spent a lot of time on the acrylic painting, and with oil painting you gotta work fast because it takes a long time to dry, and that painting actually did take almost as long to dry as it did to paint. I actually did paint it over the course of a week, which I think is pretty fast. I need to stop saying I'm a slow painter. It's a matter of, did I have a fire lit under my ass to motivate me to paint? If there's a fire lit under my ass, I'll paint really quick. And I do talk about that a little bit in the video. I was talking about how some of the paintings I've done in college art classes, if we had a semester, painting 2, our assignment for the entire semester was just basically do one painting. You can do multiple paintings, but just pick one. And I picked a project that was just way too ambitious, and just the music we were listening to every day in class was putting me to sleep, and I ended up not liking what I made. But I've gotten a lot faster at painting is the point I'm trying to get there. And so that really was the main goal for May. The secondary goal for May was Lee Week, and I actually did not finish everything that I wanted to. There was 2 pieces I didn't get around to. I have them all posted on Tumblr and Twitter. I'm pretty sure I might have posted everything on Instagram also. I didn't post everything on DeviantArt just because with DeviantArt I tend to not post as much sketchy things, and there were a few things that I just thought came out a little more sketchy. I had 2 last pieces that I wanted to make, and I just ran out of time, and I'm actually kind of burnt out right now. So that I'm trying to be very aware of the fact that I have exhausted all my energy, and it was, I don't know if it was towards the end of the Hermaeus Mora painting process that it was like the magnitude of my exhaustion hit me. So that leads into my plan for next month, but I will get there in a little bit. I think the most important thing about Lee Week is what I did on Christopher Lee's actual birthday, which I did make a delicious cake. I've been doing that for the last few years. I go out of my way to make a beautiful cake, and I did make a recipe that came from one of Vincent Price's cookbooks, because May 27th was also Vincent Price's birthday, May 26th being Peter Cushing's birthday, which is also Dracula Day. And I also found out that May 27th, That was also the release of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which has nothing to do with any of those gentlemen. But I think that's just funny that all these exciting things are happening on the exact same day. So, anyway, Lee Night cake. I made a delicious mocha cake. The cake itself was perfect. The buttercream frosting, I think, was a little buttery for me. To be perfectly honest, my colon's been liquefying for the last few days. I'm a little sensitive to buttercream. So maybe in the future I do like a cream cheese frosting. There's something about the butter, man, that it's just giving me some trouble. But other than that, delicious, delicious cake. And so for that reason, I'll call Lee Week a success. And then, actually, the last thing, not the last thing on the list, one of the other things on the list was an art snacks video that, of course, you have seen. There were some alcohol markers. Well, maybe you've seen the video. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it, because I tested out a brand of alcohol markers I've never seen before, and that was very interesting to check out. So that happened. The thing that did not happen, and to nobody's surprise, is Whoa Awesome Space Babe X is still kind of sitting in my purgatory of things to do. And I definitely needed a little bit of a comic break. I've just been trapped in painting hell for a while. The oil painting would not have taken as much time if I didn't insist on doing a video, but I did just think that would be a neat thing to do, and I am happy that I made that. I do think it was a good idea. It just added more work onto my pile. And I went into May already very exhausted. So, with all of that done, that was actually kind of successful. I'm not going to call Lee Week a failure, because I say, would Christopher Lee have been disappointed that I didn't do 7 pieces of art of him in a short period of time? No, he would be very impressed that I've managed to do it at all in subsequent years, and he would think all the art was great, and hopefully he would like my cake. I think Vincent Price would be proud of me for the cake. He would have been proud of the steak Diane I made for dinner that night also, because that was really good. That might have even been better than the cake, but I really like steak, so I'm going to call everything a success, and Whoa Awesome Space Babe just conceivably was not going to happen with the amount of energy that I have. And I have this weird idea that I have infinitely more energy than I actually do, and I'm not going to run myself nearly to the point of exhaustion that I do, and I'm going to have all this energy to do a million different things on top of all the art I do. So I need to maybe just calm down, and that is the goal for June, which you're going to look at that list and be like, damn, bitch, that's your idea of calming down? Well, some of these are just notes to myself about what to think about in June, because officially I'm saying June is a little bit of a sabbatical leave, a sabbatical when you take a break and you listen to Black Sabbath. No. So a sabbatical, my understanding of the term sabbatical, in the case of being a professor, I guess, is when you take a little bit of time off from your teaching to go on a leave of basically learning. You're taking time to extend your learning. And so my goal for June is not so much that I'm going to tackle specific projects and get specific art pieces done. It's going to be a lot of practicing and a lot of studies and a lot of just no pressure, mess around and learn, because I think that is something that I should take more time to do, to just practice the things that I'm not super good at. But I just haven't really had the time, and at this point, it's like, I need to make the time, and I'm not going to throw a bunch of extra crap on top of myself. So, well, Whoa Awesome Space Babe X is on the list to maybe just happen, because the longer it sits undone, the more likely it will never get done. And I really want to get around to that Beowulf comic I've been talking about. I did finish reading Beowulf, and I'm reading a section in the back. Actually, let me get my copy of the book, because this is a fantastic resource basically for everything that I need. The whole back of this book, this whole appendix, they are describing... Well, actually, I'll explain it this way. It's an illustrated edition where they have various objects. Let's find some good pictures. Just various objects from this general time period that are kind of... Here we've got like a lyre. How do you pronounce? I don't know. I don't know anything. But it's like an illustrated edition, and in the back they're kind of explaining why they picked specific things they did, and just kind of an idea of explaining like what this hall in the story probably looked like based off of archaeological evidence of like similar halls of this Viking time period. So it is giving me a lot of inspiration for what direction to go in the comic, but it also, in the afterwards, this dude, John D. Niles, does say, basically, you can interpret Beowulf however you want, and that's partly what they were that's the thought they went into when they were picking these images, is everybody is probably gonna visualize Grendel, for example, a little bit different, because the poem does not give like a super specific Grendel looks like this and he will be envisioned like this. They describe just this thing is this horrible hellish satanic entity. Just envision whatever comes to mind. So there is a lot of room for interpretation, and so I do appreciate that being said in the afterwards. Like, your version of Beowulf in your head is just as valid as anybody else's. So that takes a little bit of pressure off to be as accurate as possible, because with Grendel's mother, the poem does not really describe Grendel's mother other than terrible and awful, and that could be any number of things, so you can just go all over the place with her. I'm not sure where that was going, where that entire Beowulf comics, that's what tangent I was going on. That'll happen eventually. I don't know. I'm not gonna be putting major goals onto myself until my June sabbatical is over. But basically, I want to do a lot of studies. I might find other people's art to basically paint copies of and figure out, like, how are they doing this? Let's practice things like anatomy and poses, which I want to work on more dynamic poses. Mostly just a lot of studying, and then just promoting my art as much as possible, and then looking for more gigs that I can jump in on. If people throw commissions at me in this time period, I'm absolutely open for that. That's really the main goal. The one thing I would definitely say is project-y that'll happen is the Art Snacks video. And then I do have one oil painting I want to do, but it's only going to be that big. So that's part of the reason my oil painting setup is still out right now. We're going to do that, and I would hope that won't take too terribly long. This'll be a fun piece. You cannot at all, maybe you can kind of see where the sketch is. I need to actually, this has been on my project pile for a while, so I'm not sure where my on paper sketch and color model is, which I can do another one, and that's fine. So that might be the one project that's really happening. But for the most part, we're calming down in June. I have some workout goals for June, actually, so I might even focus more on that. I haven't done a really long run in a while. I haven't done the word escaped me for a second, a half marathon distance in a while. I want to try to do that next month, because my runs have been a little bit shorter because I focus more on weightlifting, which I think both are very good to do. Weightlifting is very good for you. Cardio is good. You want to balance the two out optimally. But anyway, June, we're calming down. This is going to be an easier month. Just watch me suddenly decide that I need to do 500 extra projects. No, I'm not going to do that. We're just going to focus on studying and learning we're going on a sabbatical. That's the goal. So on that note, I'm probably going to take a nap because I think I need a nap. And I hope you guys have a very relaxing June. And I do appreciate everybody watching the videos. Please like and maybe comment what your plans are for June. Are you going to do something relaxing? Are you going to do something ridiculous and stressful? Maybe don't do anything too stressful. And I hope you have a great time making art.